Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Samuel Akim here, and I'm back with another one. Today, I got a great Akem's analysis for you guys. I appreciate you guys for tapping in after another week of college football. L&M Fine Jewelry isn't just sparkle, it's tradition, commitment, and Montana craftsmanship you can count on. Whether you're celebrating a touchdown, an anniversary, or a new beginning, we've got the jewelry that makes every moment golden. Located on American Way in Missoula and Main Street in Kalispell. We are ready when you are. L&M Fine Jewelry. The L stands for Landy. The M stands for Michael. They're an amazing family-owned company here in Missoula as well as Kalispell. They do a phenomenal job of taking care of their customers. They have an amazing selection. They do a great freaking job. Go check out L&M Fine Jewelry on American Way in Missoula or Main Street in Kalispell. Week 3 in college football was a really good one. Montana played a close game against North Dakota. I will be recapping that game with Keenan Curran, so stay tuned for that. That'll be the first recap. Then we'll get into Montana State and San Diego. I will be solo for that one, as well as Idaho, Utah, NAU, Southern Utah, and then Sac State, Mercyhurst. Those are the games we will be recapping from week 3. It was a phenomenal week in college football. Make sure you guys hit the like, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, make sure you guys leave me a comment down below, and we will get straight into it. Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm back. We are back with the Kim's analysis, but also we're back with my former teammate, my dog, Keenan Curran. We are recapping Montana versus North Dakota. It was a really big-time game for the Grizz. They were down, I think, majority of this game they were down. I don't think they ever had the lead until they took the lead with about a minute 50 to go in the game. To give you the breakdown, Ayat, 25 of 39, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 64% completion percentage. Eli Gilman, 16 carries, 82 yards, no touchdowns. And then the star of the day who had his coming out party, Brooks Davis, 5 receptions, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. In that game-winning touchdown. On the other end of things, Jerry Kaminsky was 17 for 40, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then they had BJ Fleming, the NAU transfer receiver, who went for 5 for 138 and a touchdown. So you watched the recap of this game, Keenan. You were tapping in, and you got to watch the finish. What were your thoughts about this performance from the Grizz?
A win is a win is a win. Even if it's ugly, it's a win. There's some things to improve on for sure. Limiting the big plays on defense. I think that, it's great to see 17 for 41. It's great, right? That means that by all accounts, you were good in pass coverage. But to give up 3 touchdowns, just got to be better there, right? And that we will improve in that. I think heading into this, it's Indiana State that we play next. So we'll improve in that. Yeah, we'll improve in that. But man, I think I'd love to see a couple things. Offensively, 2 interceptions, one on the first play, as Sam had mentioned, and then the other interception. You don't want to have those, right? But I think in my mind, Keali is still young, right? There will be some growing.
He's a junior now. We can't keep hanging on to the young. He's a junior.
Is he junior in terms of eligibility, or is he junior in terms of 3 years of college?
He's a redshirt junior. I'm gonna look it up.
Because I thought he was redshirt sophomore.
Junior. He might be a redshirt sophomore. I might be wrong. Let me see. I'll tell you right.
But in any regard, they I liked a couple things. I liked the resilience. I liked,
He's a sophomore.
So young, right? Young in playing experience.
Yep.
And first time really leading a team, right? We know that Houck liked the dual quarterback system. This is his full time as a full quarterback. And if he does well with it, then hopefully, hey, he's got 3 years of shine. So he will improve on that. Last week, we talked about completion percentage. What did he do? He completed more passes, right? He completed more passes at a more efficient
clip. When it mattered, though.
When it mattered. And I'm cautious to compare him to this guy, but I will, just because we watched, I think it was
Better watch yourself.
Monday Night Football. Okay, Monday Night Football, right? Who played last Monday, right?
Gosh, last Monday.
Bears.
Bears and J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings? Yeah.
Very similar kind of game, right? You're down. It's not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you, right? But at the end, you got to dig deep. And so I would say Keali went into a J.J. McCarthy-like zone in that fourth quarter, right? Make plays when you have the opportunity to.
He
One thing I
channeled
would like
his inner Brian.
Oh, he did, bro. He did because it's like I see there's a play. Okay, so the one I don't even know if it was third down or fourth down, but we
Rolling to
needed
the
the first.
left.
Rolling to the
It was
left.
4th and 12. I just did that on the break. It was 4th and 12.
Hey, rolling to the left,
Yeah.
right? It
Minute
would be
50 to
so
go.
easy. Man, it would be so easy for him to take off like the quarterback from Montana State did last week, right? On that last play. It would be so easy for him to take off. Sets his feet, hits a tight end. That play right there, we would not be happy today. I would not be happy today if we didn't make that play, right? Because
I broke
that
that
kind
down
of
on my breakdown this week, talking about how important that play was. 4th and 12, a minute 50 to go. Now, they have 3 timeouts, but as you know, like, there's not a lot of time to make things shake. You don't want to leave that up to chance. They've been running the ball decently well. Like, that's not something you want to get into. They had 200 rushing yards. Montana only had 71 net rushing yards. They probably had it's crazy. It's crazy. So that play was huge. And his ability, the protection was pretty good on that play. They were bringing pressure all second half because they saw that was something that the offensive line couldn't deal with. And for him to roll to the left, keep his eyes downfield. But also, Josh Gale did a phenomenal job of getting on the scramble move and giving him an outlet to throw the ball to.
Hey, upfield.
Hey,
I love it.
Hey,
so
really,
there's good things to take from it. It was an ugly game. It was an ugly win. But like I said, a win is a win is a win.
But here, with that point, here's a quote from Coach Houck. Sean Rainey got this quote, SWX, Montana. Coach Houck said after the game, we have inexperience on our team. We probably are not ready to win a game of that magnitude, but we did. I think that perfectly encapsulates a really young team. Brooks Davis is a redshirt freshman. How often do you see redshirt freshmen and a Coach Houck coach team be like your number one receiver? Now, obviously, you have Wortham, but is Wortham the number one receiver, or is he the number one, like, chest piece? Is he like the number one offensive weapon? You know, I think he plays different roles, but Davis being that guy, being a young guy, Ayat being a young quarterback. I think the O-line has a decent bit of age on it, but not playing experience. I mean, none of these guys have been in a ton of these situations for them to rally together and freaking. I mean, Ayat threw 2 picks. The fact that they left him in there, and I think that's the biggest thing is Ayat knows I'm gonna let it sling. If I throw a pick, I will still be in this game. He needs that confidence, and he balled, man.
When you have a longer leash, it does make you a little bit more confident to make some plays or take some risks, right? Exactly. So I think they settled in well in the second half. Like you said, like Coach House said, and it kind of alluded to it earlier, it's like there's youth that we will work through, but the ability to win even in the midst of dealing with challenges because of youth is huge, right? And then not to look too far, but great to have Indiana State, and I'm not like down talking Indiana State. These are the trap games, right? These are the games. Oh, we just came off a big win, right? Kind of have the bridge week between us and the Vandals.
Yeah,
this is where you have to make a statement. Like go ahead.
The Washington State just got beat down.
Buddy, they got drums.
So are they? Wait, who was it? It was who'd they lose
Washington
to?
State. Where'd they go out to?
Was it Marshall? Oh, North Texas. They got beat down. Remember, Idaho lost to them by 3. Was it good Idaho or was it bad? And plus, also, there's another thing that got me thinking about Idaho.
Idaho had a close game this week.
Close game against Utah Tech, who's defeated.
So here's what I will point out, and I love him. I'm a huge fan of Joshua Wood because of my ties. Yep. Joshua Wood, coincidentally, don't know if you knew this, second leading rusher in the Big Sky right now. Behind who?
He's had over 85 rushing yards in every game.
Behind Eli Gilman. So I got to shout out Eli Gilman, right? We've been talking about him. Like,
he's probably number one he's probably number one. Eli's not even over. Well, I guess Eli had 200 that first game. I forgot.
Yeah. So is it a little? It's kind of because of the Central game. But through 2 games, Eli Gilman is leading by maybe 20 or 25 yards. But second is Josh Wood. Third is their other running back. Or is there not other? I shouldn't call Josh
Elijah Cummings?
No, not Elijah Cummings. It's another guy. I was just looking it up. Here, let me see.
Number 23. I know who you're talking about.
Number 23. It is Art Williams. Art Williams is this.
Yeah.
So it's Eli's got 280. Josh got 273. Art's got 226. And then there's actually a pretty, or maybe actually I'm wrong here. Nope. Yep, that's right. 280, 273, 226. So
Trap
it
game.
is what? Trap game.
Trap game.
So this game is a trap game. We've got to improve on limiting the big plays because we are definitely going to try to stop the run, not this coming week, but the following week. We have to stop the run, right?
Yeah.
And in that, what are you susceptible to?
Deep shot.
Over top. Deep shots. So we got to improve on that heading into this next week. But all in all, like, man, I like to see resilience. I think that's a good sign of hope for the future. And that's, I think, what we saw, like a large bit of this game. For you to throw an interception first play of the game and it not shake your confidence, that's huge, man. That's huge.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I was very impressed with this team in this game. I mean, let's look at the game comparison stats. 460 total yards of offense for North Dakota, 371 for Montana, 258 passing, 300 for Montana, 202 rushing for North Dakota, 71 for Montana. Penalties, 9 for 81 for North Dakota, 7 for 64 for Montana. First downs, they're tied. Third down, 6 for 18 for North Dakota, 5 for 18 for Montana. 0 for 2 on fourth down for North Dakota, 1 for 1 for Montana. That 4th and 12, that pivotal 4th and 12 was the only fourth down convert. Big plays, man. Average yards per play, 5.6 for North Dakota, 5.1 for Montana. I mean, you look at it, it's pretty even. Outside of maybe the rushing yards was really the outlier, and then the penalty yards, North Dakota had more. But, I mean, this game could have gone any way. Another thing I wanted to point out about this Montana team that honestly isn't – I mean, it's an indictment about this game, but it's an indictment about this defense. I don't remember how many sacks they got last week. I think they got 1, maybe 2 sacks last week against Central Washington. Montana had 0 sacks in this game against North Dakota. And Montana has not found the ability to really get to the quarterback. The quarterback seems to be sitting back there against Montana. Obviously, this was a running quarterback, so if he's back there too long, he's probably going to scramble. But, I mean, Montana's not been able to get to the quarterback. And maybe this is different because they were playing a quarterback who could run around a lot. But I don't know, man. That's something that I'm looking at with this team and thinking about, you know, that. And then the offensive line, man. Keenan, this offensive line struggled a ton.
Yeah, they did.
A ton.
Yeah,
guys
they did.
Running free. I mean, just missing protection. Just not. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what is going on with this offensive line. And I don't know why they're rotating. Botner was my former teammate. I think Botner's an awesome player. I think he's an awesome guy. I think you know, he's been a long time Grizz, all that stuff, Keenan. But, like, you need one unit. And if Klemzak is your guy, have Klemzak in the game. Stop switching. Last year, people were mad at Montana for playing the 2-quarterback system. And I said this on the postgame show yesterday. Now, Montana is playing a 2-center system. Who's the quarterback of the offensive line? They're rotating centers, and it doesn't make any sense. Why are you doing that?
Not good. Good. Yeah, not good. You don't have a gelled unit. Right? Like, you don't have a gelled unit if you're – I mean, we think back to, like, who was one of the best centers in recent memory? You played with him, right?
You talking about Cy?
No, I was talking about Forbes.
Oh, yeah. AJ? Man, come on.
You know what I'm saying? A quarterback.
3-year starter, knew what he was supposed to do. He's going to ID everybody. He's going to let you know what you're supposed to do. Like, and he's working hard in the weight room. And I'm not even saying these guys aren't, but I'm just saying, like, he was everything you want in a center. Everything.
Yeah, and so you have to allow a guy like center is probably very similar to quarterback in the sense that you have to let a guy catch rhythm. You can't let him think, oh, if I mess up, the other guy's going to get more reps than me, right? Like, that just is not a good feeling to have. Now, I know they're dealing with probably a competition, and it's so close that they're like, hey, we want to see
competition should be over.
Should be over, right? There should be enough pressure. Yeah, it should be enough pressure in preseason to figure out, okay, this guy gives us a better chance to win. And if it's close, right? Here's my thing, and this is what I have heard. If it is even super close like this, you give the edge to the younger guy.
Yep. Because why are you an older guy in a competition with a younger guy?
Right. So,
you know, another thing I want to point out. I don't want to hang on the offensive line too long because I know they're probably going to get it from a lot of talking heads who talk about Grizz football this week. But a few points. Keon Loud is one of the best players on this defense. He's one of the best defensive
Hey,
backs in the Big Sky Conference,
yeah,
but he is immature, and it is a problem. I know you didn't
yeah.
watch the game live. I watched the game live. He got called for a taunting penalty that really, honestly, hurt the Montana football team. He got it
Mm,
on. He got a tackle on a 2nd and long. It was going to bring up 3rd and 9 in the red zone, 3rd and goal, but from the 9-yard line. And he
yeah.
got the taunting penalty, giving them a first down on like the 4 or 5-yard line. Now, I say that to say this because it was in a critical situation. It was right before they scored on the slope slant touch. You got to watch my
Yeah,
breakdown. You'll see what I'm talking about. But they
yeah.
scored the touchdown to make it 23 to. It was 23 to 14, I think, at that point when they scored that touchdown. But Montana would have got the stop, held them to 3, and it would have been a 20. What was it? It was 16 to 14 at that point. It would have been 19 to
Yeah, so
14 at that point.
1914,
You
yeah.
know, and he got the taunting penalty because he got the tackle on 2nd and 9, making it 3rd and 9, and then he stood over him. And that wasn't the first time he did it. He did it all game. He did it last week, and I know you're good, man. We know you're good, but you
Yeah,
don't have to taunt these guys. Let your play do the talking. You got the PBU that won the game. I mean, like, you
yeah,
are him. You are that boy, but you don't
yeah,
have to you don't have to stand over these guys. You don't have to do all that talking. Like, that is what my message to be to Keon Loud is. You are already one of the best defensive backs in the conference. You are already
yeah,
probably the best corner in the conference. Like, they can't mess with you. You don't need
yeah.
to talk. You don't need to stand over these guys. Like, man, let your play do the talking. And I sound like an OG because I
No,
know I
no,
used to do the same. I don't even know if I was a taunter like that, so I don't even want to say that because I didn't really taunt like that. But that is
you
my
just
point, man.
screamed. You just screamed. You just yelled. You just, ah! But, okay, so when I'm looking at him, right? So correct, right? So correct in the sense that, hey, we got to figure out how to win and perform well. And then, like, we've been there before, right?
Yes, and that's the
It's
inexperience that Hawk was talking about.
that's the inexperience, right? And it kind of rears its head in that area as well.
I think
Because you
Keon
don't
Loud is
need
a
to.
freshman,
Yeah, it says sophomore here, so he's sophomore.
sophomore.
And that will be like that's a calling card for a young guy, right? You have some
Yes,
success, and you're like, oh, I need to let everybody know that I've been successful. When you step into like, don't be surprised by your success. Essentially, don't be shocked by your success. And when you are no longer shocked by your success, it just becomes it's second nature to you. You don't
yep.
need to let everybody know, oh, I'm the guy, right? You're not really moved by taunting someone. And I'm honestly surprised that he could do that and not get a major ripping from the head
Keenan,
guy.
he is the best by a long shot, and I'm not even saying that as an indictment against Lawler or Prince Ford.
You're right. You're right.
There's a reason he can do that and stay on the field.
Yeah, you're right. Because
No,
I mean,
because
you
but,
know,
but you got to look at it. The first touchdown was on Prince Ford on a post that they had already ran out of quarters coverage. Go watch
yeah,
the breakdown to see about that. The second
yeah,
touchdown was on an out on Lawler. So the other two corners gave up the 2 touchdowns, and then the third touchdown on the slug going in was on Prince Ford. So one gave up 2 touchdowns, the other gave up 1 touchdown. Keon Loud's got 5 PBUs. What I mean, he didn't have 5
yeah.
PBUs. I think he had 1 PBU. He had like 3 PBUs or something. But anyway, like,
He's playing good
there's a
ball.
reason. He was playing
Yeah,
good ball. He was playing
yeah.
good ball.
I got nervous when he got a little banged up towards the end of the game. I was like, no, please, no.
And then he
So
wanted to
yeah, I
jump up
mean,
and hype up the crowd too. I'm like, bro, come
yeah.
on.
Which
You gave them a free timeout for that?
but you kind of like you kind of got to take some. So okay, I remember Coach saying when we were talking about like we talking about Jerry Lou McGee, right? Jerry Lou McGee
Yeah.
would bounce boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom,
yeah.
right? And
He was the only
sometimes
one who could do that.
he was the only one who could do that. And sometimes as a coach, you got to let guys like he has to become more aware of the situation
Yeah.
and then know when to do his things, right? Because you want to be self-expressive, especially as a DB. You don't get the touchdowns as often. You don't get the interceptions as often. So you don't get to be as expressive in the end zone. But you have to learn when to do your things, when to, do your dance, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
right then, critical moment. Can't have it then, right?
Cannot.
In the open field, you make a big play, celebrate a little longer, right?
He
Give them
did
2
that after the
seatbelts,
game winning
seatbelt, race car.
PBU.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe give him one of those, but it can't be in a critical moment. And so I think that
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
learning through these things, right? We're learning through these things. Man, the future is bright for the Grizz. barring everybody staying. And I hope they all take the Eli Gilman method and just say, hey, I'm locked in.
You think it's that bright though? Because they got a young
I mean, you
quarterback,
think
young receiver, young corner.
Right? So you have and those are pretty big pillars. If you can solidify your O line, I think it could be bright. But
I don't know, man. I don't know if Keon Lau would be the type to stay.
He's a corner.
He's a corner. I can't believe he's a sophomore, man. I thought he was a freshman. It says on here, this is 2024. Because he played last year, so he's a true sophomore.
Yeah.
I think he played more than 5 games last year.
And the tough part about it is like corners, they're a position of need for everybody.
Yep.
Trouble is you don't want to go somewhere and then it doesn't work out for you. Like sometimes there's more. Right. So I posted the Mount Rushmore, right? And a lot of people came back and they said, oh, you missed this guy, or you missed this guy, and you missed True, which I did miss True. Yeah. But like I was very biased and I was super open that I was biased. But like, hey, these are guys that I watched or guys that like Mark Mariani. We heard about Mark Mariani in the receiver room because of Coach Farrader, right? Because Coach Farrader was like, well, look what Mark did. And then some of the plays that he made in big time games. I love True. I actually have gotten to know True in a limited capacity at games, right? To me, it was more so, hey, these are the guys I know. Keon Lau, why not stay and be True? Why not stay and be a Montana legend? You know what I'm saying?
Is this your pitch? Take a minute to give me a pitch.
Is there more value? Look, there's value in being a big fish in a small pond. There's value in that, man. As opposed to going somewhere and just being a tick on the depth chart. Like their recruiting budgets at some of these big schools are so massive that it's like, dude, if you don't perform in the first 2 games or in fall camp or in spring ball,
they can't wait for you to develop.
Exactly. They will write off whatever money they gave you from the NIL, and that'll be all you see. As opposed to staying, being a dominant force at the FCS level, right, and having
the best corner coming out of the FCS.
Boom, drafted. Not a free agent signing guy, drafted because they're like, wow, he's really really good.
Just ball out at your pro day.
Why didn't you make the jump? Because I'm loyal.
And I'm him.
That's a respectable answer.
No matter where I'm at.
That's a respectable answer. So, yeah, man, I hope he stays. But heading into next week, man, so I just looked. I don't know if you saw the storyline of the, I think it's Menendez or Mendoza, the Mendoza brothers of Indiana. So 2 brothers, both play quarterback. One's older, one's younger.
And they both play at Indiana?
They both play at Indiana, and they had a field day against Indiana
They put up like
State.
70 on Indiana State?
They put 70 on Indiana State. Both quarterbacks had passing touchdowns.
Dang.
Like one of them had 5, the other one had 2. I think there was a total of 600 yards of offense that Indiana had on Indiana State. Now there's a little bit of like psychology to that because they are big brother and little brother, right? Like, you know, you going into Indiana Stadium and you're Indiana State, like there is a little bit of like, we're gonna play the big guys, right? But I would hope that we kind of can watch that Indiana film and say, hey, look, they had 379 yards of passing and 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 300 yards of rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Why not us? Why can't they be us, right? Like, let's build on the things that we're not very good at right now. Let's solidify
What's Indiana's record? Are they over?
They're 3-0. Indiana or Indiana State? Indiana State's 2-1.
Yeah, Indiana.
They're 2-1, but they played. Yeah, but they played like I don't even know where this school's at. No shade to McKendree. D2 McKendree University in the season opener, 24-41. Then they played East Illinois again. Never heard of you.
East Illinois? Wait, is it Eastern Illinois?
Is it Eastern Illinois? Eastern Illinois University?
Yeah.
Looks like a panther or a lion.
Yeah, they're D1. They're FCS. They play in the OVC, I think. Big South OVC.
So they beat them 38-14. Yeah, I mean, I guess they are, but look, you know what's crazy? I was talking to somebody. Listen, check this out, okay? And this is a common known fact. It is very similar. I was talking to somebody about 1A high school football in the state of Washington. You have a lot of private schools that are small schools, and they have like, private school kids.
Yeah.
And there's the haves and the have-nots. There's some teams that are really, really good, right? And there's some teams. I mean, Archbishop Murphy is a 1A school or 2A school, maybe 2A, but they're a really small school in the state of Washington. Right now, they have two guys that are starters on NFL rosters, right? They got Abe Lucas for the Seahawks, and they have Kyler Gordon for the
Abe Lucas
Bears.
is lineman, right?
Yeah, the lineman.
Kyler Gordon is a nickel.
Corner. Yeah, he's corner nickel, yeah. So they have that, and then they have teams that, like, can barely field a team, and they have to combine like 3 schools around them just to field a team. Yeah. The FCS is very similar to that. You got the haves and the have-nots, right?
But that's honestly, I'm actually glad you're bringing this conversation up because I actually did want to have this conversation. Is it that the talent has left the FCS and it's more even, like there's more parity, or is it that the worst conferences are getting better? And let me tell you why. You look at the NEC conference. Mercyhurst just put up 28 on Sac State in an L, but they've been playing better ball. Utah Tech, Ofer, but they've been competing at a high level. Tarleton is undefeated and they're top 3 ranked team right now in the country. I mean, Abilene Christian, the UAC got 3 teams in the playoffs last year. The NEC conference, it seems like they're competing a little stronger. I mean, West Georgia. Who is West Georgia? They used to be D3 a couple of years ago. Now they're FCS and they're 3-0. They just had a comeback victory yesterday against some team. I can't remember who they were playing. I'm blanking on who they were playing. But I mean, is the FCS, has the talent, has the level of talent evened out more in the FCS because of the transfer portal, or has the teams at the bottom just started to pick it up? What do you think?
Yeah. So I would say the first theory. I would say the level of talent has evened out. This is going to sound horrible. Outside the top 5, right? Outside the top 5, top 10. Because I'll tell you what, any of those teams that you just mentioned, they come up to Missoula, they come up to Bozeman, they come up to Brookings, or they go to Fargo. It's not going to be pretty for them, right? It's not going to be a good game for them. So you have this faction of like really dominant, like, yeah, you guys aren't touching us, but I'm glad that you're experiencing some success where you're at. But we know, look, brother, like, we know, like that's great. I'm glad that teams are starting to win, right? That's good for everybody. That's good for their communities. That's good for their universities. But like at the end of the day, brother, it's going to be about 4 to 5 teams that have a realistic chance of actually winning a national championship every year, right?
Is Montana in that category, though?
Yeah, I mean, we just went to the national championship 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
The year after that, they weren't even the same defense. They gave up 50 to Eastern.
For sure, and that's a good point. But we also were in a transition year in terms of our quarterback, right?
Yeah. Shouldn't have been.
When you have a really good, stable quarterback at a team like Montana, we're inevitably going to be really good. You know what I'm saying? But when you have this like kind of, well, we don't know, there's kind of a toss-up, like there's just no, I don't know, flow, right? There's no consistency. There's no direction. So if here's the beautiful thing about the situation, shout out to whoever recruited the kid. Not going nowhere, right? His dad is a fixture on the wall. His dad's on the wall. You know, when we walk down the tunnel, Brian Ayat, he not going nowhere. So we will have a guy for the next 3 years. Yeah. We will have a guy for the next 3 years for sure.
They should have had a guy for the next 4 years because I am of the belief that they should have started him last year. And there should have been no question about it.
For sure. Let him grow through it. Through it, right? And that's, you have to have that year. Any team has to have that year if you're going to start a guy for that many years. So, yeah, you're right. But, hey, we could all wish on what could have been. All I know is right now, he's showing signs of, like, confidence. He's showing signs of, like, okay, I could be the guy.
Moxie.
Yeah, some moxie and some resilience. And, like, you don't need to be great all the time at quarterback. I want you to be, but you don't have to be, and that's evidence in J.J. McCarthy. You got to be good when it matters.
Yep.
You just have to be good when it matters. And yesterday, he showed I can be really good when it matters.
Mm-hmm.
And so
he made all the throws. All the throws.
Right? All the throws. Was taking some shots. Again, I still want to see him develop that big arm, but again, he's young. Brooks Davis is going to be a star, man. He's fast. And we tweeted or we texted about this. Whoever the DC at North Dakota, I know it's changed over the years. Can you tell your DB stop getting beat on double routes? Like double move, bro. We ran them post corner to death a couple years ago.
Poker.
Bro, we ran poker to death a couple years ago. And
you win. Swear. I didn't get one of those. You went poker to death.
I had 151 against them. I had 151 against them guys, right? So it's like, bro, like I literally was showing my kids at the school that I coach at a post corner on that, and like I don't like showing my own film, but I was just like, look, this is how you should run the route.
How you do it?
No, I hate it. I really don't like it. Like they didn't even know that I played, college football or even like actually played. Like I had a kid before our first game. I'm telling him like, yeah, when I played, I was showing them the receiver game right before game day. Right, we all get in the end zone. We play the one hand catch game. Right. Yeah. And I was showing them that, and I was like, oh yeah, when I played, this is a game that we played. Winner gets a Gatorade, and they're like, Coach, you played? And I was like, yeah, I played some college football. And one of my kids was like, Coach, did you ever like get in the game? I was like, I'm sitting there like, yeah, man.
You're like, damn, they think I'm a bum.
Like, yeah, man, there was a time where I got in the game, man. Yeah, I got in the game a couple times. So, but again, and more so because I want to coach the fundamentals. I don't want them to look at me and trust me just because I played. I want them to trust what I'm telling them. And they can implement it. Yeah, and they can implement what I'm saying into their game, and it helps
them.
I
would rather get bum receiver.
Yeah, which is fine, right? I'm all right with that. Like,
did you actually get in the game? That's when you went in the files and was like, I'm gonna show these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was like, so one of the kids is like, Coach, can I see your highlights? Like, can you? And I was like, I think I was more so talking about my faith, and I gave a profession of faith, and I was just talking, hey, this is and I said, yeah, I played college football, and told the whole story, whatever, and they're like, can we see your highlights? Like, can you show them? And I was like, oh, they're probably out there somewhere, but like, I'm not going to be the one to share them with you. That is very conceited in my opinion. Like, I'm just not, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And they're like, oh, okay. And I had a couple kids come to practice a couple days later, and they were like, oh my God, Coach, we saw this post corner that you ran. And I'm like, okay, so at least now there's some validation that I know somewhat what I'm talking about. Yeah, so hopefully they continue to improve. Shout out my team, Bellevue Christian. We won our first game, 43-15. So I would be remiss if I didn't give them a private school. Yep, private school in Bellevue. 1A. Yep, we went out to South Woodby Island and we won 43-15. So very proud of my kids. Yeah, proud of my kids, man. So I'm over here writing plays. I shouldn't show too much, but I'm out here writing little plays that we can. We're scheming up a big game this week. So, but yeah, man.
You were a bum, Keenan.
It's all right. It's all right as long as they know that hey, he could call some plays.
No, it's funny though because we were all there, and that is the knee jerk reaction to like. And he don't know what he's talking about. Like,
yeah, for sure. I've had coaches that I'm like, no, I don't. And like, here's the coolest thing. So I think Portland State's receiver coach when I was in high school was my offensive coordinator. Yeah, Brian Thomas. Shout out BT. He was my offensive coordinator, and like, I knew that he knew what he was talking about to a certain extent because like he would get out there and run. And he had fingers that looked like this. Shout out BT. Yeah. Like I was like, oh, this guy played.
Boy done been through it.
Yeah. But it, now I don't know that I really absorbed everything that he was coaching me until it started to work for me. Until I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this does work. So I see why kids think that way now. But all in all, back on our thing, Montana. Got to show some promise in the run game, in the pass game this week. Got to limit big plays because we are going to have to stop a really strong run offense here in 2 weeks. Like we're going to have to do a lot. And I don't think that we're going to be able to run the ball overly well against Idaho. Just being honest, I think Washington State, when I looked at the stats that they had, I think they had like some crazy small amount of rushing yards against.
No, they had like, was it like 13 or something? Go look at it. I think it was like under 20 rushing yards.
Yeah. So I'd imagine we're gonna have to perfect our pass game, which means we're gonna have to perfect our protection. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, let's see, team stats, rushing yards. They had three. Washington State had 3 rushing yards.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey. Crazy.
Wow. That's crazy. So
now, obviously, sacks are a stat in college. They're a rushing stat in college. So I don't know how
yeah,
many sacks they got in that game, but that would obviously play in that. But still, three. I mean, maybe they got 10, 15 yards in sacks.
yeah,
25 rushing yards?
yeah.
30 rushing yards? What are we talking about?
That's
Against
awful.
an FCS opponent? And I'm not here calling the FCS JV, but there are levels to FBS and FCS. You guys have more scholarships. Used to have more scholarships. Now with the rev sharing, it's different. But have more scholarships, have more resources, more money to offer more scholarships, all that stuff. Training table, all that. There should be no reason you're rushing for 3 yards against Idaho.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely no reason.
We're at Idaho.
No, Ford. It's at home. It's at home. It's in Montana.
Okay. Well, that'll be nice. That'll help. That'll provide some edge. But again, last time they came to Missoula.
Yeah, 2022.
Oh, that was brutal, man. I hated that. Oh, that killed me. So yeah, so we're hopeful. It's good signs. It's better to be 2-0 than 1-1, right?
Hey, 2-0. They beat it. They got a ranked victory. Their first FCS dub was a ranked victory, so that plays well in the playoff contention. You know, you want to see a team with like a few ranked victories. You want to see a team with 7+ FCS wins. So I mean, they're 2-0. You can say all you want about what they didn't do right, all the bad things, but they got the win. So you'd rather get the win and correct what was wrong than lose and have to correct what was wrong. Because when you get the win, you're like, okay, we won, but this is what we got to do better. As opposed to we lost and this is what we got to do better.
Yeah, and Montana's the only undefeated team in the Big Sky right now. Oh, suck it, MSU, suck it.
I didn't say that. Hey,
I did.
I support all Big Sky teams.
Yeah, I mean, I support some guys, but listen, for some of the stuff that I heard when I was on the sideline in Bozeman, and some of the people that would come at me on Twitter, and I could take it. Unforgivable. The one guy, what's his name? There's a realtor.
Tony or something?
No, there's a realtor that is I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I actually should give him a shout out because he's probably not a bad guy. I think we've shared messages. He's just a passionate fan. And you know, when you're a passionate fan, like you're gonna say some stuff, definitely to get under a player's skin. And he knows what to say. I think it's Jake. I know Brent would know him. He's a realtor, Bobcat fan. Was always one of the most passionate. Oh man, he let me have it. And he would just give it to me like he knew what to say to get under my skin. And I had to exercise so much self-control sometimes when I was in college and like wanting to tweet back at some guys. So I'm a big proponent of, hey, if you're a college player, if anybody listens to me in this, if you're a college player, get off of social media during the season. I promise you. You want to post Instagram pictures to build your brand in the NIL era? Totally for it. All right. Have somebody you trust do that. Just send them the picture. Let them post it. Get off of social media. You will have so much more peace in your life if you are not, because you are inevitably going to read the tea leaves and see, oh, what's someone so saying or blah, 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 blah.
I got on Egris one time after a game my senior year.
Oh, sick to your stomach.
They was killing me. On that.
Bro, sick to your stomach, bro. Egris is like, and that's with internal. That's internal, bro. That's like supposed to be our fans, man. Look. If y'all see this, look, y'all, that is like a echo chamber of just the most vile things that you can say about guys. And never go on Egris, especially Grizz players. Never go on Egris.
It's like a Reddit channel for like football fans.
Literally. And then it's just a place where they are going to just pull your name through the dirt. And they're going to be like, they're going to say, bench him and play the guy that's a red shirt right now that doesn't even know the place. That's the thing. They don't have the inner workings of the locker room, so they don't really know, like, oh, yeah, this kid's good or this kid's not good. They just see, like, oh, this kid is on the team.
This kid's a 4-star, but he never comes to practice. You should play him. But they don't know that he never comes to practice. They just know who he is as a player.
I'm like, you guys, you should see some of this kid's tape. He ain't ready, right? Like, the reason I'm on the field right now, it's because I give us the best opportunity to win. And when I don't, they will replace me, right? And that happens. Like, that happens. When you see a guy get replaced, it's because, hey, there's somebody that's close enough to, beat him out. So, Egris, look, now as a post player, I almost want to start an Egris channel and troll people. But that's not, I shouldn't do that. I'm a Grizz fan. We're all Grizz fans. They just express it in a more volatile way. controversial.
They care.
They care. Yeah. But yeah, man, looking forward to, we'll make this kind of a regular thing.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Grizz season. Obviously next week, hopefully it's not anything exciting. I don't want it to be anything exciting next week.
You want that game to be super boring.
You want it to be boring. You want it to be over by halftime. You want to get some of the young guys in, get them some confidence.
Love to get Fanati in the game.
So yeah, and I want to see Wortham get some more touches. Like no catches yesterday was shocking.
He had no catches. He had 3 catches, 17 yards, but he didn't really do
Oh,
much.
did he? Okay.
And then he had 3 carries for 9 yards, but he only had like 26 yards of total offense. 26 yards all purpose.
But it's good to see other guys produce as well. You want to know all your weapons.
Needed that.
So, yeah. Like you don't want to just rely on him.
Yeah, you can't. And I said that in the pregame. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to see another star outside of Wortham and Gilman show up today. And it worked out because they shut down Gilman, they shut down Wortham, and Brooks Davis really is a star receiver. He really is somebody you can depend on. And obviously it was one game, he's a young guy, but I think he showed the signs of just like being able to carry that load as the number 1 receiver.
Absolutely. You know what's crazy? This is probably just an ode to Eli when 16 carries, 82 yards, 5 yards a carry is shutting down. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
5 yards a carry is like pretty cool. Like that's actually that's really good. That's a game. Bro, if you're getting 5 yards a carry, that's really good. And I know he had some big runs and he had some runs that weren't as long, but like I'm a big Eli Gilman fan.
Yeah.
Big Eli Gilman fan. So
leader in the conference in rushing yards, you say? So
in two games.
Crazy work.
So, but hey, Sam, as always, I appreciate you having me on, man. Love talking ball. If you guys aren't, watch all of Sam's stuff, right? Watch it all, okay? But I'll watch that review, man, and then we'll get on here again here sometime soon.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Okay, Montana State versus San Diego. It was a really good game. Montana State really ran away with the game. I was not able to watch the game because obviously Montana was playing at the same time. I do the pregame, postgame show for Montana, as well as I'm involved with that stuff. So I wasn't able to watch the Montana State versus San Diego game. But we are going to get into some of the numbers. Obviously, Montana State won 41-7. So it was a really big victory for them. They got their first victory of the season. Mind you, they played Oregon in week 1. Then they played South Dakota State last week in a really, really close game that they lost. But, they're a good football team. They showed that. Justin Lamson, 23 of 26. 23 of 26. Hold on. Let's do the numbers on that. What is 23 of 26? That's got to be like upwards of 90%. 88% completion percentage for Justin Lamson. 88.5, I think, if we round up. 23 for 26. Patrick Duchesne was 24 for 5. But 23 for 26, 293 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception for Lamson. On the running game, Adam Jones had 13 carries, 46 yards. Julius Davis had 8 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Really seems like Julius Davis is kind of starting to separate himself as that number 1 running back. Adam Jones is kind of taking a back seat. His numbers have not been the same as last year. Also, we do know that their offensive line has not been the same as last year. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Taco Dowler, 8 receptions, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Taco Dowler is somebody for me on this Montana team who should touch the ball close to 10 times a game. I think you need to find a way to get him involved, whether it's in the run game, whether it's in the quick screen game, whether it's in design pass plays down the field. I think Taco Dowler is somebody who needs to see the ball often, especially if you're dealing with the offensive line issues that you're dealing with that we haven't seen in a few years from Montana State. Taco Dowler is somebody that can help alleviate that. He's a weapon for you on the outside. He knows how to get open in man coverage. I mean, all of that stuff. And he can run the ball out of the backfield. Not that you hand it off to him. You probably could hand it off to him. But jet sweeps, quick screens, tunnel screens, all that stuff. That is what Taco Dowler does. So his stat line should look like that every week, in my opinion. But looking at this Montana State team, they got the victory. And their defense played a good game, held them to 7 points. 143 yards through the air for San Diego, 71 yards on the ground for San Diego. Their leading rusher had 49 yards on 10 carries. Their leading receiver had 35 yards on 3 receptions. So good game for Montana State defensively. Good game for them offensively. Justin Lamson, extremely accurate passer. And I kind of saw this coming when I looked at their offensive coordinator and looked at, what he had done at Colorado School of Mines as the offensive coordinator. He was the head coach the most recent years before he came to Montana, but before that, he was the offensive coordinator. And the numbers for his players, his receivers, his running backs, and his quarterbacks had just gone up and up every year. And I think his last year being the offensive coordinator was 2022. But the numbers that season, they had like a 4,700-yard passer, 1,000 plus 1,300-yard receivers, a 1,400-yard running back. I mean, they had an explosive offense in 15 games. So Montana State is looking good. Justin Lamson is looking like that boy for real, with his accuracy. The running game for Montana State, I'm somebody who thinks they ran the ball pretty well against South Dakota State. I think they had over 200 rushing yards against South Dakota State. And then in this game, they had 217, which is not bad. But I think against, the Montana State teams of old, the Montana State teams from 2023, 2024, and maybe even 2022, they would have rushed for 200 yards on this San Diego team. Or they would have rushed for 300 yards on this San Diego team. Maybe 350, close to 400. I mean, they would have put it on a team like this. You would have had 200-yard rushers. Lamson probably would have had close to 100 rushing yards. I mean, that is what they've been doing the last few years. And just talking to sources, people who are familiar with the situation at Montana State, they say that offensive line is in shambles right now. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces on that offensive line. I don't think there's a ton of guys. I don't think JT Reed is even playing his position. I think he's a guard. I think he's been playing center. I think they've seen some other injuries on that offensive line as well that has shifted some of the focus and shifted some of the attention. So from that standpoint, Montana State really needs to get it figured out in the run game. In the passing game, though, it seems like Justin Lamson has a good handle on things. I think with the new offensive coordinator that they've brought in, one thing that helps their passing game is I think they have a more diverse passing game. I think some of the array of passes that they can throw, some of the array of concepts that they're running are a little different than what they used to run. Because I think in the past, they really had an array of runs within that zone scheme that they can involve with the triple option, the triple pass option, or whatever you want to call it, the RPO, where they got to run, they got to pull, where Tommy can run it, he can dip it off to the flats. I mean, they had a lot of that, but I don't think they had a lot of I'm trying to think of the word, gosh, why is my brain not working? I don't think they had a lot of complex pass concepts on the outside. That's the word, complex. I don't think they had a lot of complex pass concepts on the outside. And I think that's something that new offensive coordinator has brought in. But Montana State gets the victory. They're 1-2 now. Looking at their schedule going into next week, I feel like they probably have a bye coming up sometime soon. I mean, they've played 3 straight. I just feel like they should have a bye just because Montana has been running and gunning. But they got Mercyhurst next week. I want to see this game. Now, I'll talk about this on my preview show on Thursday, so tune in for that. But that is going to be an interesting game for myself because of what we just saw against Sac State. Now, do I think Montana State is Sac State? No, I do not. But I've seen some good things from Mercyhurst. I'm not going to get into that right now. But Montana State gets the victory against San Diego, 41-7. Justin Lamson looks like he's their starting quarterback 100%. And he ran the ball less. He only had 6 carries against San Diego, which I do like because I mentioned last week 20 carries was a lot for your quarterback. You don't want to see your quarterback taking hits like that. You don't need your quarterback taking hits like that. So keep him throwing the ball, keep him in the pocket as much as you can, keep him protected because he is going to be one of the reasons why your team is or isn't what you guys say you are. So make sure you can protect that. Make sure you protect the money, which is Justin Lamson. Taco Dowler, I think he needs to see the ball often. The defense looks like it's firing for San Diego. They get to play Mercyhurst next week. I'm waiting for the time to where I can get to watch one of these Montana State games. I haven't been able to watch because of the time that needs to be coordinated with Montana State and Montana going forward. If Montana State is playing in the morning, Montana needs to play in the evening. If Montana is playing in the evening, Montana State needs to play in the morning. I think I just said the same thing. If Montana's playing in the morning, Montana State needs to play in the evening. If Montana State is playing in the morning, Montana needs to play in the evening. I mean, that's how they need to do it because there's people who have interest in both. Like all the media personalities. Everybody in the media wants to see both teams play. I break down both teams. I break down the Big Sky Conference. I want to see Montana State play. I want to see Montana play. I want to analyze both, but it's easier to analyze both games if I've watched them live. Like last night I watched that Sac State Mercyhurst game. I have some thoughts. Obviously you can watch the highlights back, but you can only gather so much from the highlights. Watching the game live is much, much different because you get to see the ebbs and flows. You get to see those penalties that might not show up on the highlights. You get to see that pass breakup that was on a 4th down that they might not put on the highlights, but really loomed big in the game. That's my thoughts about Montana State as it pertains to being able to watch these teams. Obviously, in the press box, you can turn on those games, but I did not do that yesterday. Had to be tapped into the Montana North Dakota game, but Montana State got the victory. They are 1-2. They hope to move to 2-2 next week against Mercyhurst. We will talk about that game later on this week. You guys, let me know what you thought about this Montana State victory. What are your thoughts on Justin Lamson? Are you worried as a Montana State fan? Are you worried as somebody watching the Bobcats about their run game? Are you worried that they need to get it figured out in the run game? I think they'll be fine. I think we saw them against a good team in South Dakota State, and I think their run game did what it could. Obviously, some of those later possessions, they would love to be a little bit more successful in the run game. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Taco Dowler is the guy that needs to see the ball often, all the time in that offense. I will catch you guys. We will move on. Okay, next, I want to talk about Idaho versus Utah Tech. And I just want to tell you guys, you really need to start watching my Thursday preview videos. You really, really do. You really, really do. My Thursday show, it's new this year. I used to preview the games after I would recap the games on my Monday videos. Now, the recap is one video. The preview is one video. It's better that way. We get to cover more topics that way. It's all good. But you really need to start watching them. I said Idaho, Utah Tech was going to be a close game. I said they were not going to get blown out. I did not think Utah Tech was going to get blown out. I thought it was going to be close. I think this Utah Tech team is getting better. And this subject and this topic is going to come up later on in the video. But is the FCS as a whole getting better? Are the worst conferences like the UAC, the NEC, some of those more lower tier conferences that haven't been seen in high regard, are they getting better? Is the talent level getting better? Or is the talent leaving the FCS? Is everything becoming more even? Are the scales kind of evening out? Is there more parity in the league? I don't know. It seems like it seems like the talent is leaving and the worst teams are getting better, the better teams are getting worse, and everything's getting more closely together. It's getting harder to disseminate from the good to the bad. But Idaho versus Utah Tech, Josh Wood reverted a little bit back to what we saw in week 1. He didn't have 30 passing yards, but 14 for 25, so close to 50% completion percentage. I think that's probably about 55. Let's do 14 to 25. 56% completion percentage, 119 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Art Williams is their leading rusher, 16 carries, 144 yards. Me and Keenan talked about this and the Montana breakdown, but Art Williams is a player that everybody needs to be paying attention to. He's probably one of the better running backs in the conference currently. Yardage wise, he's probably up there with some of the best in the conference. 144 rushing yards in the game yesterday. Joshua Wood had 11 carries for 85 yards. Now that's 3 straight games for Josh Wood over 80 rushing yards in the game. I think their first game against Washington State, he had 100. I think in their second game last week, he had 85. And this game on Saturday, yesterday, he had 85. So Joshua Wood is proving to be a very effective runner of the football. And any team who wants to beat this team is going to have to account for his legs. And that is the point you want to make. Josh Wood is a player. He definitely is the guy for them. He's the one who's going to lead them out. They go where he goes. But this is a team that wants to run the ball at its core. They're going to pass the ball, but at their core, they are trying to run the ball. I mean, 286 rushing yards this week. I think they had over 300 last week. I think they were close to over 200 in the week before that. I mean, this is a team that is going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to make a concerted effort to run the ball. So if any team playing against them, you need to be good at stopping the run. Utah Tech obviously wasn't able to do that because they almost had 300 rushing yards, but in the air is where they struggled. Now, I don't know if that was a product of Utah Tech's secondary or if that was just a product of Idaho's not being able to complete the passes. I haven't been able to watch the game back. I don't have replay. I could watch it on ESPN Plus, which is probably what I will have to do. But Josh Wood, he's got to gather some consistency. I want to see consistency from Josh Wood. That's what I mentioned last week. The first game of the season. Good. I mean, he's been consistent on the ground. Consistently, he's been over 80 rushing yards, 3 straight games over 80 plus rushing yards. That is good. But through the air, he's been up and down. With his arm, the first week against Washington State, who just got boat raced by North Texas 59-10 or something crazy like that. He had a bad game with his arm in the first game. He only had 33 passing yards. I mean, it was not pretty, but he had 100 rushing yards. Then in the second game, he was like 26 for 29 or like 25 of 28, or he was 20 of 25 with 200 and something passing yards. I think he had over 200 passing yards, and then he had 85 rushing yards in the game-winning touchdown. And then you go to this week against Utah Tech. 14 to 25, 55% completion percentage, only 100 passing yards, 119, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, so he took care of the ball. And then he has 85 on the ground. So I would love to see Joshua Wood be more consistent. I still am waiting for that one receiver for Idaho to really emerge as a player for them. You got Ryan Jeziero, who had 5 for 50 and a touchdown. You have Emerson Cortez Minyaiver, who I think was the leading receiver last week. Either him or Tony Harst was the leading receiver last week, but one of them had like 90 receiving yards, 95 receiving yards, and a touchdown. And then you got Emerson Cortez Minyaiver, and then you got Tony Harst, who really seemed to be the three guys that get the most targets, get the most attention. But who's gonna emerge? Like last year, you had Jordan Dwyer. Mark Camper was the clear number 2. Jordan Dwyer was the clear number 1. The year before that, Hayden Hatton was the clear number 1. I think Jordan Dwyer was there. I don't know if Mark Camper was there, but there's always been like a hierarchy. I don't think there's necessarily a hierarchy with the receivers, and I don't necessarily think they have a number 1 right now. I don't even know if maybe you ask Coach Thomas Ford if they have a number 1 receiver right now. I wouldn't say they have a number 1 receiver like you think of Montana yesterday. In my opinion, Brooks Davis established himself as somebody who can be a sustainable number 1 receiver for Montana. He's somebody who's a redshirt freshman. He's starting for a reason. You think he has that ability, but until he shows it in the game, you don't know that. They called his number with the game on the line with a designed pass play, and he delivered in the time of need. Idaho needs that. Joshua Wood is the quarterback. Art Williams is the running back. Where are your number 1 receiver? The defense for Idaho clearly had a good game, and they're clearly one of the better defenses outside of that St. Thomas game against the Tommies where they gave up 30 points. They've only given up 19 points in 2 other games outside of that St. Thomas game. So maybe they bumped their head. Maybe St. Thomas is good offensively. I don't know. But 6 points for Utah Tech, 13 points actually for Washington State. They've played good defense. If we average it out, let's do the average. 19 plus 30. 19 plus 30 divided by 3. That's 16 points a game. That would be one of the better defenses in the FCS if you average it out. They're probably near the top scoring defenses in the FCS currently. So Idaho can play some ball on defense. I don't know what happened against St. Thomas. We'll obviously see as the weeks go on. I'm not sure who Idaho has next week. For some reason, none of these things are loading right now. I was trying to pull up Josh Wood. They play San Jose State next week. They always have decent non-conference schedule with some FBS opponents because of those money games. But they play San Jose State next week, so that'll be a big game. But everybody knows what's going to be the game of the week in a few weeks when Montana and Idaho play. But that we got some time till we get to that. So Idaho won. They played a close game against Utah Tech. Utah Tech is not, I think Utah Tech is over, but Utah Tech has played everybody close. So Utah Tech is definitely on the cusp of being a team to be reckoned with. They're getting better. The talent is getting better. They're getting better to being at that. They're getting more used to being at the FCS level. We will see what that looks like. But you guys let me know what you thought about Idaho in the comments down below, and I will move on. Okay, the next game. Southern Utah versus Northern Arizona, and I'll say it again. I said it when I was talking about Idaho. I said it when I was talking about Montana. I didn't say it when I was talking about Montana State, but you guys need to start watching my preview shows. I preview all these Big Sky games, all the best games in the Big Sky. I tell you what's going to happen. I tell you what's going to be a good game. You can trust me. You can believe me. Northern Arizona, Southern Utah got into an absolute shootout. 52 to 40. What was it? 52 to 49. So Northern Arizona got the victory. Ty Pennington, 20 for 31, 366 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did take 4 sacks, 12 carries, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns for Seth Cromwell. And then the receiver, Colby Katz, says 6 receptions, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. A really good game from the Northern Arizona offense. I don't know if we've seen an explosion offensively from Northern Arizona like this in some time. Their one victory against Utah Tech, they put up 38 points. They won 38 to 31. Their one loss came by way of Arizona State, where they lost 19 to 38. But nobody has scored under 30 points. So defensively, NAU is not what they were last year. Each team they've played, even Utah Tech, put up 30 points on them. So defensively, you can't say that Northern Arizona is a good defense right now. They haven't shown that. They gave up 38 to Arizona State, but gave up 31 to Utah Tech. Make it make sense. And then 49 to Southern Utah. Now, Southern Utah ran the hell out of the football. Joshua Dye, 25 carries, 176 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. I mean, come on. What are we talking about? Their leading receiver had 3 receptions, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Joshua Dye did not even have a reception, man. So he did it strictly on the ground. Hey, I'm giving you this one way and one way only. You're gonna take it how I give it to you. Bronson Barron, 22 of 32, 269 yards, a touchdown. He did take 2 sacks as well. NAU, I don't think NAU is the team they were last year. I'm not even saying that to downplay NAU. I don't think NAU is the football team they were last year. I don't know. Given their schedule, they play Incarnate Word next week. That'll be a good game. Then they play Portland State. They play Montana State, UC Davis, Idaho. They play all the best teams in the conference outside of Montana. Idaho, UC Davis, Montana State. I don't know if I could, because I don't think NAU will win any of those games. I don't think they're going to beat Idaho. They're not going to beat UC Davis. They're not going to beat Montana State. They might not even beat Northern Colorado. And maybe even Weber State will probably could get them. I don't see NAU being a playoff team this year, just based on what I'm seeing from their defense right now. Their offense can put up points, but I don't know if you're going to be able to get in shootouts with every team, because Idaho, probably one of the better defenses in the conference, they're not going to allow you to put up 50 points on them. Montana State is not going to allow you to put up 50 points on them. UC Davis is not going to allow you to put up 50 points on them. I don't even know if those defenses will allow you to put up 30 points on them, much less 50. And then you got to think about Idaho State. Idaho State is not good defensively, but offensively they can put up 30 to 50 points on NAU. So looking at the calendar for NAU, looking at what we've seen from NAU thus far in the season, I don't know if I can say I think NAU is going to be making a return to the playoffs. Also, when we saw them in the playoffs, they put up a donut. So they didn't even perform when they got there. They have a good quarterback. They got a decent running back. Their offensive line is pretty good. Not great, pretty good. But, I mean, this squad defensively, I mean, you got to be able to shut teams down. You got to be able to get off the field when your team needs to stop it. I don't know. I mean, NAU did that against Southern Utah, but is Southern Utah a playoff team? I wouldn't call them a playoff team right now. Southern Utah's record, it's not going to tell me, of course, right here. But Southern Utah, I don't think any of these teams is a playoff team. It was a good shootout. If you like offensive football, it was probably a good game to watch. But in terms of projecting and analyzing this team as a contender, come on, man. Defensively, Northern Arizona, Travis Arena had 10 tackles, 7 solo. He had 2 sacks, sacks or TFL. So he had 2 sacks and 2 tackles for loss. Looks like a pretty good defensive game for Travis Arena. Their second best tackler was Micah Curran. 7 total tackles, 3 solo. He had 1 tackle for loss. They only had 2 sacks in the game, and it all came by Travis Arena. So defensively, I mean, you can see where the problems are. Not a ton of tackle distribution on this defense. Obviously, only so many people are playing on the defense, but on the other side of things, one player for Southern Utah had 3 sacks. Oh my gosh, Lando Brown, 3 sacks, 6 total tackles, 5 solo, and 3 sacks in that game. That boy showed up. But NAU versus Southern Utah, I just wanted to come on here and let you know that I told you this was going to be a good game. I told you it was going to be a close game. I didn't know it was going to be shootout. I probably thought it was probably going to be more low scoring, but I thought they were 2 pretty evenly matched teams. I thought maybe if NAU was able to blow out Southern Utah, then that told us something about NAU, and maybe NAU was going to be a playoff contender this year. But I think judging off of that game final, and then you look forward to their schedule, you look at the rest of their schedule, you see some of the teams that they have to play: Idaho, UC Davis, Montana State, even Idaho State, even Weber State. I mean, you start to look at all the teams in the Big Sky. Northern Colorado. I mean, you look at everybody in the Big Sky and you're like, man, is there one for sure win on this calendar, on this schedule? I don't know if they do have a for sure win on their schedule. Incarnate Word is not a for sure win. They're a ranked team. Portland State is a for sure win. Montana State, UC Davis, Idaho State, Idaho, Northern Colorado, not for sure wins. Cal Poly, even, they're 2-1 right now. Is not a for sure win. Weber State is not a for sure win. You can't call any team a playoff team where you can't just check off some of these teams like that's a win, that's a win, that's a win. No, currently they're looking like a mid-tier to lower tier Big Sky team. If you look at the rest of their schedule, you look at the rest of the Big Sky's playing. Obviously, I can't wait until we get into conference play, so all of this is a moot point. But until then, we have the games that they've played, and we can look at their record. They are 2-1. So from that standpoint, they have a positive record. They're going to continue to be ranked. They're going to continue to be in the conversation. But I could see some trouble coming down the line for NAU. So remember, I said this because I have been the prophet this season, prophesizing what's going on in the Big Sky Conference. Come see Prophet Akem. He'll let you know what the crystal ball is telling you for the future of the Big Sky Conference. Either way, you guys let me know what you thought about this NAU game versus Southern Utah. What do you guys think about this NAU squad currently? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will move on. Okay, now we are talking about Sacramento State versus Mercyhurst, the Lakers. Sacramento State got the victory 49-21. Brendan Marion's first victory as a Division I football head coach. They are now 1-2 with losses to Nevada and South Dakota State. Mercyhurst is 1-2 with losses to, I don't know. I'm not gonna try to lie to you. Cardell Williams, though, is looking like he should be the starting quarterback for Sacramento State. He was 8 for 17, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. Damian Henderson, 12 carries, 98 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rodney Hammond, 11 carries, 81 yards, no touchdowns. Sac State had 4 people carry the ball who were over 40 yards rushing. 5 people carry the ball who were over 35 yards rushing, and 6 people carry the ball who had over 25 yards rushing. So 349 yards on the ground, 5 rushing touchdowns on 42 carries for Sac State for 8.3 yards a carry. Obviously, this is an NEC opponent. This is how Sac State should beat this team. Ernest Campbell, 2 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Jordan Williams, 2 receptions, 39 yards, and a touchdown. Jordan Anderson, 1 reception, 35 yards, no touchdowns. I mean, it was a big offensive explosion for Sac State. Something you want to see from Sac State is for them to win a game like this. One thing I did gather from this game, watching it live, I don't think the coverage of Sac State is up to snuff currently. Their pass rush is elite. And actually, I want to find the stats. I want to find the stats of this game. I want to see what their pass rush did. They were getting to the passer. Sac State has an ability to get to the passer. They have Xavier Williams on their defensive line. He's the only name I really know, but Kai Kui, player on that defense. Derek Houston, a player on that defense. Let's look at these defensive stats for Sacramento State. Oscar Moore, 1.5 tackles for loss, a sack. How many sacks did they have in this game? They only had 3 sacks in this game. Jalen McLaughlin had a sack in this game. 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, 2 solo tackles. Deshaun Watts, 3 tackles, 2 total tackles, 3 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack. They had 2 interceptions in this game. Koa Akui had a sack, and Oscar Moore had Koa Akui had an interception, and Oscar Moore had an interception. Koa Akui had 2 pass breakups as well. Oscar Moore had 1 pass breakup. Jason Oliver had 2 pass breakups as well. So defensively, I think there's some pluses on this defense. I think their ability to stop the run is pretty strong. They only gave up 89 rushing yards to Mercyhurst. I don't think Mercyhurst really wants to run the ball. I think they want to pass the ball more so. They had 45 pass attempts, 34 rushing attempts. Now, obviously, they were down, so they're going to pass the ball more. But I think this is a team that wants to pass the ball more than they want to rush it. Their leading rusher had 10 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. That's Brian Trobel. But looking at just these defensive statistics for Sac State, I mean, I think they're a team that has the ability to stop the run. They have the ability to get to the passer. They have the ability to create disruption in the backfield, which is what they do. Now, on the back end of that defense, when it comes to stopping the pass, when it comes to playing man coverage, when it comes to playing zone, when it comes to being effective in that, I don't know if I could give Sac State elite there. I don't know if they're elite there. I don't know if they're even good there. I mean, they struggle. They give up a lot of yardage to some of these teams that they've played. Now, last week, obviously, they were playing a Nevada team that wanted to run the ball just as much as they want to run the ball. So that isn't a problem that you have. You still see them get hit down the field, but not as much against that Nevada squad because that's not what they do. When they played South Dakota State, that was something that you saw. They got hit over the top. They got beat deep. They got passes completed on them within the zone, in man coverage, all that. So looking at the Sac State squad, they found their run game. That's the good part. Cardell Williams, I think, gives them the best chance to be successful in the run game. I think the way he's able to run that offense, the way he's able to influence the triple option, the way he's able to run that run game that they run is it's everything for them. It's everything for them. And that's what creates success for them offensively. Obviously, Jaden Rashada got hurt in Nevada, and that's what gave them a look at Cardell Williams. But I think when you got that look at Cardell Williams, it's like, this is who we need to stick with. And that's why I'm calling myself the prophet, because I said they need to stick with Cardell Williams, and they did. Cardell Williams started and played well. So from that standpoint, and I did want to make a correction. Last week I said Cardell Williams started against Nevada, and that was Cardell Williams did not start against Nevada. Jaden Rashada started. He got hurt, and that's what brought Cardell Williams in the game. Just wanted to clarify that up. But Sac State got their first victory in the Go-Go Sacramento era. Will they continue their winning ways? Obviously, we'll talk about it in our preview on Thursday, but looking ahead at the Sacramento State schedule, they play Central Arkansas next week, which would be another good game for them. Central Arkansas just got beat down by Tarleton, but Sac State is not Tarleton. And Central Arkansas will not come into this game thinking that Sac State is Tarleton. Central Arkansas will come into this game thinking we just got beat down. We need to get our pride and pick our pride up off the dirt, and we need to get a victory. So that's what I'm looking for. Sac State, they got the victory, their first victory. A lot of people have been talking about them. I tweeted something when they were down by 11 at one point in that game. I thought it was going to be bad for them. I said on my preview on Thursday last week, do not let Sac State lose this game to Mercyhurst. It is going to get very loud. It was loud when they were down by 11. When they got down by 3, it was loud. As finally when they got the lead, the noise quieted down on social media a little bit. But Sac State has eyes on them. They will continue to have eyes on them. People will continue to play on their downfall. I'm not praying on their downfall. I'm just reporting the facts and analyzing the game as I see it fit. I'm just looking at the numbers, looking at the games in front of me, looking at the players on the field. I analyze it from that standpoint. But the people, the fans, pundits of other teams, they don't care about Sac State. The JV joke is going to continue to be a joke until Sac State makes something of themselves. Because everybody else is JV. They're playing JV ball right now. They're 1-2 at JV ball right now. That is the conversation, and that's what it has to be. We can't let you get off that comment, Dr. Lukewood. We can't just let you spew that disrespect to FCS football and think that, it's not going to come up. You guys get beat. You got beat by a JV team. Because you lose to FCS teams, you're losing to JV teams. Now, obviously, you lost to a varsity team. You guys lost to a varsity team. I would say they're probably the 1A, or if you're thinking about Montana terms, Montana football, they're a Class B varsity team. So they're a lower tier. You guys are the elite of the elite. You don't play JV. You're better than JV. Anyway, Sac State got the victory. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about this Sac State victory. I think there's some good pieces of this team. I think Cardell Williams is their starting quarterback, running back as well. I think they got a host of running backs back there who can do the job. Receiving wise, they've got some players. Jordan Anderson is a player who keeps popping up to me. Jordan Williams, Ernest Campbell are some of those other players, but Jordan Anderson is a name that I've consistently seen. We will see what they're able to do next week against Central Arkansas. But we're judging these teams basically right now on a week-by-week basis. Not on a week-by-week basis. Obviously, they're building a resume. But I'm judging these teams based on what they have done. Based on what they've done. And based on what Sac State has done, they're 1-2. They're not a ranked football team. They should not be ranked in the top 25. They should not be one of the top-ranked Big Sky teams. They shouldn't be there. They're not there right now. They gave up 28 points to Mercyhurst. If you are one of the better teams in the FCS, you don't let Mercyhurst do that to you. I'm sorry. Mercyhurst is not there yet. They're close. They're getting better. They're not there yet, though. So you guys let me know what you think about Sac State in the comments down below, and I will move on. Okay, that concludes me talking about the recap of the weekend, week 3. Next, I want to talk about the top 10 FCS football operating budgets for the 2024 fiscal year. This is something that Zach McKinnell posted. He posted a snippet of the top 10 in FCS. There was a bigger article that somebody else dropped. I can't remember the name of the person that dropped the bigger article, but it was a bigger article breaking down the numbers, operating budgets for all the schools in, I think, Division I athletics, maybe Division I football, maybe Division I athletics, something like that. But Zach McKinnell posted the top 10. The top 10 are as follows: South Dakota State at number 1 at $9.6 million. Stony Brook at number 2 at $8.9 million. Montana State at number 3 with $8.8 million. Montana at number 4 with $8.7 million. William & Mary at number 5 with $8.7 million. Charlton, that's very interesting. Tarleton at number 6 with $8.5 million. Sacramento State at number 7 with $7.2 million. Idaho at number 8 at $7 million. UC Davis at number 9 at $7 million. And Cal Poly at 10 with $6.9 million. One thing that stood out to me about this was 6 of the top 10 schools are in the Big Sky Conference. So obviously the Big Sky Conference is spending money on football. And if you look at the list, 4 of the 6 in this list were in the playoffs last year, and 4 of the 6 are some of the top teams in the Big Sky Conference. Montana, Montana State, Idaho, and UC Davis, all playoff teams, all in some of the top operating budgets in FCS football. Another thing that stood out to me in this list, Stony Brook, spending money on football, not winning football games. Probably working a little backwards there. Maybe they just started spending this type of money. Maybe the operating budget just got there. They're spending the money now. They're hoping that it's going to translate into wins down the road. I mean, you got to invest something. You got to invest so that it turns out good for you down the road. Maybe that's the thinking behind it. I don't know. South Dakota State at number 1. Another thing, the top 10. Now, North Dakota State could have been immediately out of the top 10. They could have been 11, 12, 13. I did not read this article, but no North Dakota State in the top 10. And everybody knows North Dakota State is the standard at FCS football in terms of national championships, in terms of wins, in terms of conference championships. They are the standard at the FCS level. The fact that they're not in the top 10 of operating budgets, I want to know what the heck they got going on in North Dakota State. What is going on in Fargo that they don't have to be in the top 10 operating budgets and they can still win football games at a high clip? That's crazy. That's crazy. Another thing, Tarleton at 6. Obviously, Tarleton has money. Obviously, Tarleton has been in discussions about moving up to the FBS. When you hear about FBS talk, a lot of people put Tarleton in that conversation. They think Tarleton has the makings of being a team that could move up. We will see as this season goes along. They're looking like a wagon this year. How many wins will they get? How deep in the playoffs will they get? Can they get a national championship this season? I think that conversation about them potentially getting a natty is getting louder and louder as the weeks go on. They keep beating down teams, and that's what you want to see out of a top team in the FCS. You don't need to be playing close games. No offense to Montana, but where you're winning 24-23. That was a great win for Montana. But if you're one of the top teams in the FCS, that should probably be a 2-3 score game. Now, obviously, Montana's a little bit experienced. Coach Houck mentioned it himself. We had that conversation earlier. I'm not going to go back down that rabbit hole. But Tarleton is making it look how it should look, no matter who they're playing. Now, obviously, Tarleton, I don't think has played any ranked opponents yet. I don't know any top teams Tarleton has played. But they beat Army. They beat an FCS. They beat an FBS team. So from that standpoint, you look at this Tarleton team and you're like, yo, this team needs to be in the conversation. They need to be in the conversation. They're beating up on people. But they're at number 6. So that's pretty exciting for Tarleton. Anybody who roots for that team to see them in the top. But then William and Mary, they haven't really been a good CAA team. They've been decent, above average. They haven't been the worst CAA team, but they haven't been at the top of the CAA either. So looking at them at number 5, looking at Tarleton at number 6, but then all the Big Sky teams. So just something I wanted to talk about. I was surprised not to see North Dakota State in there. I wanted to know what their secret sauce is. What are they doing? They don't have one of the top 10 operating budgets, not a top 5 operating budget, but they're still one of the best teams in the subdivision. Maybe it's because they can get recruiting. Maybe they don't have to pay a ton in NIL. Does NIL go into this operating budget? Like, is that factored into the operating budget? Because that means South Dakota State is spending some of the most NIL probably. I mean, I don't know, but what goes into this number with the operating budget? That's probably why I need to read the article. But you guys let me know what you think about some of these numbers. What do you think about these top 10 teams? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will move on. Okay, I want to thank you guys for tapping into another Akem'S analysis. It was an amazing video this week. Make sure you guys go tap into my tailgate tour when that drops later this week. Also, make sure you guys go tap into my breakdowns. I'm dropping a Montana versus North Dakota breakdown tomorrow. I may also do some other breakdowns. I am not sure yet. I don't have a ton of highlights to look at, and you guys know it's tough for me to get all 22 of all these teams. So if I can get some all 22, I'll break down some of these games. If I can get some highlights, I'll break down. I would love to break down Sac State, Mercyhurst. I'd love to look at that. I'd also love to look at Idaho versus Utah Tech. I would love to look at Southern Utah NAU as well. Montana State, San Diego, if I can get that one, I most definitely want to break that down for the Bobcat fans. But you guys let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. What did you guys think about week 3? What are your biggest drastic thoughts about week 3? What is your one overreaction about week 3? You guys let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. About 70% of you guys who are watching me right now are not subscribed to the channel. So please hit that subscribe button, show some love, support the channel, support me. I appreciate you guys. Tell your friend about me, tell your mama about me, tell your cousin, your auntie, tell somebody to come subscribe to Sammy's channel if they love FCS football. If they love football, come tap in with me. You can call me the prophet because I'm prophesizing all these events that are happening each week. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in with me. I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.